It's a miracle.
Miracles are incredible events that bring healing, hope, and inspiration to those who experience them. Their lives are changed in a very personal way. Here's just one of those stories. In 1971, Teresa Okonski was a single mother on welfare, raising a 5-year-old daughter alone when she gave birth to another child. Teresa made the painful decision to put the infant up for adoption, a healthy baby girl she'd named Hope Ann.
I named her Hope Ann in hopes that whoever adopted her would be good to her, in hopes that she would have a good future, and that I hoped everything would work out for her.
But when she held the baby in her arms, she insisted on taking her home.
I just couldn't let her go. And so I brought her home, and it was a struggle. I tried for 3 months. It was too much. They kept bugging me to let her go and think of her and not myself. And so finally I did. I wanted her to have a chance at a good life, and I felt I couldn't give her one.
On the day the social workers came to take Hope Ann away, Teresa's 5-year-old daughter Doreen watched as her mother's life fell apart.
Are these her things?
I can't let her go.
No, I'm sorry, you can't change your mind. You've already promised.
I can't.
There is a couple waiting for her. They've waited for her for 3 months, and they're going to give her a wonderful home.
No!
Teresa, give her to me.
It was just the worst day of my life. If I could have died that day, I wouldn't have cared.
There she stood, brokenhearted, watching out the window, you know, watching her go away.
Yes. Come on. Grandma, you want me to hang up here?
27 years later, Teresa was facing another major loss in her life. Her 77-year-old mother was dying, and Teresa decided to move her into the nursing home where her daughter Doreen now worked.
She was more sick than I thought she was. I really didn't believe she was that ill or she was dying, but she was.
No one knew that moving her into the home would be the start of a miracle. Conveniently, Doreen had made friends with a co-worker, Beth Donnelly, who was assigned to her grandmother's floor.
Oh, hi, Beth. Hey, Doreen, how are ya?
I knew her on and off for about a year. We seemed to hit it off really well.
Oh, you never cease to amaze me.
We had the same type of personality, you know, outgoing, funny, joking.
We would just, like, make each other laugh. She would crack me up. Actually, one time she had me laughing so hard I was on the floor.
The two women met daily to discuss Doreen's grandmother's condition.
Is she going to be okay?
And although Beth was her charge nurse, Doreen would look in on her whenever possible. It was during one of these visits that something totally unexpected occurred.
She saved pictures forever, and I took the photo album out of her closet. Beth come out and, you know, dancing and joking. She says, well, let me see, I want to see. I didn't want to show her because she'd say, well, look at you, a fat little kid, and you look silly. And I was afraid that she'd, you know, make fun of me.
No, I won't, I promise. Oh, come on. No. Okay.
She really wanted to see these pictures.
Oh, is that your grandma when she was younger? Yeah.
We looked through the photos. We got to about the 5th page.
Who's that? I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? This is your family album.
Babies, they all look the same.
So I took it out of the photo album and I flipped over the back of it.
Hope Ann, granddaughter. My mother gave a baby up for adoption.
Oh my gosh. Hope Ann? Oh my gosh.
I started crying. I said, that's me. I think that's me. I'm Hope Ann. And she didn't believe me, actually.
I said, oh my God, this is too much. You can't joke like this.
No, Doreen.
Beth had been adopted in 1971 and knew that her birth name was Hope Ann.
I was bad. I swear. I'm Hope Ann.
In an unbelievable turn of events, two friends had discovered that they were sisters.
And she just grabbed me and gave me a big hug, and it just went on from there.
Beth suddenly realized that she had been taking care of her own biological grandmother, and she went to visit her now.
I woke my grandmother up and I said to her,
I want to ask you something about your daughter, Terry.
I said, I was just wondering how many daughters she has. And she said she has one. And I go, no, can you really tell me how many she really has?
She had two. One was given up for adoption. It was supposed to be a secret.
She goes, Hope Ann, she goes, I'll never forget her. She goes, I always wonder if she's okay and how she's doing and how she made out in life.
Hope she's having a wonderful life.
And I said, she's okay, Graham, I'm her, I'm Hope Ann. And her eyes literally bugged out of her head.
You are.
I couldn't believe it, you know, I was actually taking care of my grandmother.
As a final piece of confirmation, Beth realized that she had seen the picture before. At home, she discovered her adoptive parents had the exact same photograph. Late that night, Teresa got a call.
My daughter Doreen's husband called me, and I knew something was up because he hardly ever calls me. And he told me, he said, you better brace yourself, Mom, I got some news for you. He says, you'll never guess who Doreen met.
Gail and Gwen. Amy.
And I'm naming all these stupid people, you know, I had no idea.
I give up, come on.
And he goes, Doreen found Hope Ann.
What did you say?
And I'm like, what? And I dropped the phone down, and I started like running through the house, like I couldn't breathe. I couldn't sleep all night. I was all excited and I was nervous and everything. And the next morning I got a call.
Hello?
Hello, this is Beth
And she goes, this is Beth Donnelly, you know, and she was like stuttering and she didn't know what to say. And I'm going, well, yeah, but who's Beth Donnelly?
I think I'm your daughter. I'm Hope Ann. But I understand if you don't want to see me. I mean, I wouldn't want to intrude.
Oh, darling, of course I want to see you. I want to see you right now.
Well,
They arranged to meet later that day at Doreen's home.
I kept listening for the door. And then when the door opened, it's like my world opened again.
Hi, Beth.
Oh my God, my baby.
I just looked at her and that was my Hope Ann. I had her back.
So nice to meet you.
There's no question about it. She looked just like me.
I just think it changed her life. And I think Grandma and God and everybody knew that we needed to be brought together.
A few days later, Beth visited her grandmother one last time.
It's okay, Graham.
I went in there and I said, it's okay now, you can let go. It's time to go now, the family's all together. And she said, I know. She said, I want to die, I want to be with my mother. And then that night, she passed away.
I really feel strongly that she performed a miracle before she passed on. She just brought us all together.
My grandmother was my angel, and I think she was sent from above. I really believe that.
When she came back into my life 26 years later, it was the best day of my life, and I'll never, ever forget it.
I think she feels wonderful. I know she loves me, I can tell. And I love her so much.
I got a lot of making up to do, and I'm gonna do it.